Hello and welcome to the Business Standard Morning Show. I'm Swapnil Joglekar. It's October 3rd, 2023, and here are the questions we'll be answering today. Should you be worried about credit card bills? Is Smriti Mandhana the Kohli of women's cricket? Can sugar stocks sweeten your portfolio? And all you wanted to know about Cricket World Cup 2023. Credit card spending hit yet another high of 1.5 trillion rupees in August. And with festivals knocking at the doors, companies offering these unsecured loans are expecting another round of a good season. But wait, are people paying back in time? Maybe not all of them. The RBI recently said that credit card outstanding surged 31% during financial year 2023. So is it a sign of growing stress given that inflation has been eating into people's savings for some time now? Kasturi Akhil finds out.
Credit card spending by Indians touched an all-time high of about 1.5 trillion rupees in August, according to latest data by the Reserve Bank of India. This is being viewed as a concerning development against the backdrop of a multi-decade low recorded in the net household financial savings, pegged at 5.1% of the GDP in FY23. Experts point out that there are several factors contributing to a surge in credit card transactions. First, there is an increased propensity for overspending among people, even without a corresponding increase in income. Consequently, they turn to credit cards for their expenditures, raising the potential for defaults. However, Adil Shetty of bankbazaar.com believes that the trend is a reflection of the rapidly digitized payment system.
Credit card spends have been growing at a 3-year 30% CAGR. What does this say about consumer behavior? I think what it shows us is the Indian economy is rapidly digitizing. So you might think that, credit cards are increasing at 30%, but keep in mind, UPI is increasing at double that rate, at over 60%. So I think today consumers have become very comfortable paying via digital means. Today when we go out, we don't even carry cash on us. We realize that using UPI and cards gives us security, it gives us convenience, and we get access to a lot more offers, right? Whether it's a no-cost EMI, whether it's cashback rewards. So I think it's a sign that the economy is digitizing.
An analysis of the RBI's Consumer Confidence Survey reveals that a sizable number of people have increased their expenditure on essential items, while maintaining or slightly decreasing their expenses on non-essentials. In addition, of the nearly 6,000 respondents surveyed, 25% of the respondents reported a rise in income by July 2023 over the previous year, while 50% of respondents indicated their incomes were unchanged and roughly 25% claimed they had decreased. How could this mismatch in income and expenditure affect credit card users' finances going forward?
Certainly, we are seeing trends where I think we are moving away from household savings to consumption, basically. The only trouble with this consumption is that people have started committing their future cash flows, and therefore, what may happen is that once you accept indebtedness as a behavior, then it can only grow in you, basically. The second is, and perhaps sort of more harsher, you see, today we may have a situation where somehow or the other, by getting some other bank's card, for example, let's say, you may perhaps, so this was happening, till about the credit rating also started becoming more and more strengthened. This may push people to borrowing from the unorganized sector at a higher rate just to repay the card payment.
The rise in credit card transactions can also be attributed to the rise in credit card issuances in the country. With more entities offering buy now, pay later facilities, consumers may be driven to opt for easy credit for current purchases. RBI data shows that active credit cards in the country crossed the 9 crore mark in August to touch a high of 9.13 crore cards outstanding as at the end of August. In August 2020, there were 5.7 crore active credit cards in the country. RBI data also shows that while credit card loans constitute a small portion of total personal loans, they have been growing since the pandemic. Meanwhile, credit card delinquencies have surged by 30.5% in FY23, as against the previous year, media reports indicate. At the same time, total credit card loans grew about 30.9%, thus pointing to the fact that defaults are growing at a similar pace of loans dispensing. Ashwin Parekh shares a perspective on the larger economic impact of this trend.
We seem to be in a good cycle at the moment, and the economy seems to be growing very well. So, in a good cycle, for example, let's say, people start using their future cash flows more often, but when the economic cycle takes a downturn, then the NPS will happen. I'll not be very surprised if RBI, for example, will at some stage set up a different norm for recognition of NPA for credit cards. Second is the banking can certainly suffer if the economic cycles take a downturn and if the NPAs rise.
Increased credit card use also indicates an active retail drive by lenders post-pandemic. As far as consumers are concerned, not all credit card debt is bad, as banks issue cards to those people with high credit scores and secure income flows. However, it is the growing number of defaults that remains a concern.
Defaulting on credit card payments affects your credit score and also the chances of getting a loan at attractive rates. So experts advise judiciously using your cards this festival season. But for the Indian women's cricket team, festivals have come a bit early. They have struck gold at Asian Games, and people cannot stop talking about the pivotal role played by Vice Captain Smriti Mandhana in this historic win. Now, not only did she add crucial runs to the scoreboard in every match, she also helmed the team in two of the most crucial knockout matchups in the absence of a suspended Harmanpreet Kaur. In our next story, Sanket Kaul and Kasturi Akhil delve into the player's journey and tell us why being Smriti Mandhana is a phenomenon in itself.
At the Asian Games final, when India opted to bat first on a sluggish track, Smriti Mandhana knew her task was cut out. She was the top scorer in what proved to be a historic gold medal for the Indian women's team at the 2023 Asian Games. However, that doesn't even begin to sum up Mandhana's Asian Games adventures. While her aggressive stroke play was true to form, her captaincy skills proved to be a revelation. Players and experts alike have lauded Mandhana for her cool and calm leadership as she filled Harmanpreet Kaur's shoes in the first two knockout matches. This wasn't her first brush with captaincy though. That came at the age of 22 when she became India's youngest T20 captain in 2019. Today, Mandhana is seen as a prominent face of women's cricket on the international fora, which has inspired many girls in the country to pick up the bat. Her success in the international outings also made her the most expensive buys at the first ever Women's Premier League auction, with a whopping price tag of 3.4 crore rupees to her name. She then went on to captain the Royal Challengers Bangalore team in the Women's Premier League 2023, incidentally sharing her jersey number 18 with the former skipper of RCB's men's team, Virat Kohli. A jersey number is not all that Mandhana shares with Kohli. Many believe they have a similar and adaptive approach to batting, even though Kohli is a right-handed batter and Mandhana is a southpaw. They are both star batters for their respective teams and often wield a strong influence on their team's match-by-match strategies. But is it really fair to compare the two players?
Why is always a woman athlete compared to a male athlete? I've never heard Virat Kohli being compared to Diana Adulji, who's like far senior and a pioneer for women's cricket. I don't hear any women tennis player, nobody calling the new male tennis player Sania Mirza. I never hear that. And the second thing is that Smriti Mandhana's lived experience as a cricketer, the trials and tribulations that she's gone through to become a really good India international, is far more, in my opinion, than anything that Virat Kohli has gone through. Virat Kohli came through at a time when Indian cricket, men's cricket, was already at a boom.
However, despite the large price tag, Mandhana's first captaincy stint at the Women's Premier League wasn't a smooth sail. The team managed to win only 2 out of 8 matches, crashing out of the tournament in the group stage. Mandhana's individual performance also hit a slump as she struggled to keep up her form. One of the major reasons was her weakness against off-spin. Mandhana, in a recent interview with Business Standard, described her underwhelming WPL campaign as a learning experience. True to her word, the fluent left-handed batter bounced back to lead her team at the Asian Games. She is also one of the few players alongside Harmanpreet Kaur and Jemima Rodriguez who have been playing in overseas leagues. The international exposure that they bring to the table has also been one of the biggest contributing factors in reshaping the perception towards women's cricket in the country. So, has Smriti Mandhana's rise helped draw more eyes of mainstream media on women's cricket?
I think the question about women's cricket and mainstream media, why it couldn't get attention, it's very complex. But I think the fact is that the moment you have a star player turn up and perform, and for women's cricket, it was so important to be seen on television during the 2017 World Cup in the last 2 finals. That's where Harmanpreet Singh came into her own. And everyone was just also astonished by the amount of talent that there was and the quality that was playing for India. And a representative of that quality was Smriti. So people completely forgot what notions they had about women's cricket, and Smriti helped change that because of the way she bats, because she's a stylish batsman. She looks graceful. So it's all those things, and I think in that way, her cricket has made the lines between men and women blurred in terms of the audience that it's able to attract.
This is a generation of players who are also incredibly smart, incredibly savvy, understand the responsibility that comes with them. Jhulan Goswami and Mithali Raj are absolute legends, but they didn't have this, there's a huge, they didn't have this social media following them for the first, say, 10 years of their career. Nobody even knew about them, whereas we have that now. There weren't even so many cricketers on the TV getting ads. There weren't so many products that India was putting out in the market. So again, Smriti has it easier because there's a lot of all of that happening.
Back in 2013, Mandhana had made her international debut with a bang, becoming India's highest scorer in a T20 match when she was merely 16. Many had hailed her as a cricketing prodigy. Her journey since then has not been free of hurdles. Nonetheless, she had continued to bounce back every time and set new standards in the process for women's cricket in India.
Let us now turn our gaze to financial markets. India's sugar inventory at 4.5 million tons is the lowest it has been in 5 years. Further, lower output is expected to keep sugar prices higher. Related stocks are also riding this tailwind with stellar gains. So should you bet on them ahead of the crushing season? Harshita Singh finds out.
Soaring sugar prices, which are hovering close to 6-year high, are leaving a bad taste in Indian consumers' palates. But sugar manufacturing companies have sweetened investors' portfolios in recent months. In FY24, shares of sugar companies such as DCM Shriram, Bajaj Hindustan, Uttam Sugars, and Triveni Engineering have rallied up to 145%. In comparison, the Sensex benchmark has held a moderate gain of 13%. The rally comes as a deficient rainfall in major sugarcane producing states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Uttar Pradesh this year may lead to lower sugar output. This, experts believe, will keep prices firm driving gains for sugar companies. Besides, the industry's growing diversion of sugarcane to make high-margin ethanol remains another key positive.
Currently, an approximate 11.5% of ethanol is blended with fuel and government aims to raise it to 20% by 2025. This will boost ethanol production and benefit current players. The formation of a global biofuel alliance also contributes to this effort. Further, the festive season has already begun, leading to increased sugar consumption. Investors should focus on companies with diverse distillation units and multiple manufacturing plants, enhancing ethanol production capabilities. Consider looking at Balrampur Chini Mills, EID Parry, and Dwarkesh Sugars, and last, Praj Industries.
Domestic brokerage, DAM Capital, is especially bullish on UP-based sugar companies and expects strong earnings growth over the next 2 years amid attractive valuations. Sugar inventory is so tight for the next 2 months that a delay in crushing beyond November 15th would result in non-availability of sugar in many parts of the country. Thus, bleak sugar output estimate and lower inventory will keep prices firm above 37 rupees per kg for the next 1 year, boosting earnings, it said. But there remain risks too. The government could soon place curbs on sugar exports to fulfill local demand. Further, the cyclical commodity-led nature of the sector warrants selective stock picking. As the demand and supply situation changes quickly in commodities, investors can get trapped in the peak buying of such stocks. Only invest after closely tracking the changing environment. Pick companies that evolve their strategy as per the market dynamics, suggests Akhil Bhardwaj of Alpha Capital. Today, on October 3rd, markets will track global cues for direction. Traders will also keep an eye on September manufacturing PMI reading.
He's making plans for an early retirement. Business Standard.
Analysts, meanwhile, are keeping a keen eye on the stocks of companies in the travel, hospitality, and beverages sectors. Cricket World Cup, which is returning to India after about 12 years, may bring a windfall for them. In a way, it will usher in the festival season. And this time, India is hosting it solely. In our explainer, we tell you everything about the upcoming mega event, from the prize money to mascots to anthem and the teams taking part. Let's take a look.
The ICC Men's ODI World Cup will be held in India from October 5 to November 19. In the first match, defending champions England will take on New Zealand at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. It will be a sort of rematch of the 2019 final where both the teams clashed and New Zealand had faced the drubbing. The two mascots will be a male and female duo from the fictional cricketing utopia called Cricketovers. And on September 20, the ICC also released the official anthem of the 2023 Cricket World Cup titled Dil Jasn Bole. The song is composed by Preetham and the lyrics are written by Shlok Lal and Saveri Verma. Actor Ranveer Singh can be seen shaking a leg with cricketer Yuzvendra Chahal's wife Dhanashree Verma. The 10 participating teams are Afghanistan, Australia, Bangladesh, England, India, Netherlands, New Zealand, Pakistan, South Africa, and Sri Lanka. The West Indies missed out on the World Cup for the first time in their history. They lost to Scotland in the Super 6 stage of the World Cup qualifiers. The first stage will be a round-robin format. The 10 contesting teams will play each other once, resulting in 45 matches. And then, the top 4 winning teams will enter into semi-final rounds. On June 25, 1983, the Kapil Dev-led Indian team created history by winning the Prudential World Cup after beating the West Indies by 43 runs. In 2011, India won its second World Cup and became the third team to have won the title more than once after Australia and the West Indies. The winner of the World Cup will receive a prize money of $4 million and the runner-up will get $2 million. The losing semi-finalists will each receive $800,000. The ICC has allocated $10 million as the total prize money for the tournament. All the World Cup stadiums will be kept boundary sizes over 70 meters. The upcoming 13th edition of the World Cup will be played in the 50-over format. The 1983 Cricket World Cup was played in the 60-over format. The ICC ODI Cricket World Cup was contested for the first time in England in 1975 and was played as a series of one-day matches of 60 overs per side. Star Sports Network India is the official broadcaster of the 2023 Cricket World Cup. It will air the tournament on Star Sports, DD Sports and OTT platform Disney Plus Hotstar in India.
I'm backed by the nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.
India is the world's best ODI side with a rating of 116, and the home ground will certainly give it an edge. The event will indeed keep the country hooked, especially the October 14 India-Pakistan match at the Narendra Modi Stadium. Well, that's all for today. Guys, the next episode of the morning show tomorrow. Thank you for watching.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.